Good morning, sir. I wanted to know what your thoughts are on passive euthanasia.
What's the difference between euthanasia in itself and passive euthanasia?
Uh, in passive euthanasia, you kill somebody for the benefit of the one who is being killed. For example, let's say a
Which is
dog.
euthanasia, right? It's the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what is you? Yeah, I am 100% okay with euthanasia on humans and animals. Right now, it's illegal on humans in our country. I wish it
Yes.
could be made legal. And I want to say to the audience that if we were to think realistically, there are things in this world far worse than death. Death is not the worst thing on earth. Disease, famine, war crimes, there are things on this. Suffering is far worse than death, which is why, if you remember the talk I told you, there's more cruelty in a glass of milk than in a slice of beef, because suffering is far worse than actually being killed. So, in that regard, I'm 100% okay with euthanasia on animals and on humans, where we know this organism cannot be treated, is not going to survive successfully, and even if they do, they're going to be suffering in horrible amounts of debilitating pain till their death. Please put them out in the most, least painful way possible. So I'm okay with it.
Sir, one more question. And what about sterilization of stray animals?
100% okay with it. I'm okay with sterilizing all stray animals. I want to create a world, if I can, where domesticated animals, which includes cats, dogs, and all the farm animals, literally become extinct. So when you ask me about sterilization, I would love to see a world where all these domestic animals no longer exist. And people might hear that and be like, what? That's horrible. So you vegans want these animals to just die off? But hear me out why. Think of it like this. Imagine if, let's take a hypothetical scenario right now, okay? Say we humans found a way to manipulate our genes, human genes, we take them out separately, we mix them with now some other animal like a chimpanzee or a bull and whatever, and we create this weird half human, half animal hybrid. Okay, now this creature looks like humans, has opposable thumbs, is very strong and muscular but very small. And we began enslaving these creatures to start doing all our heavy work, heavy duty work that we humans now do, pulling, tugging, building buildings, moving cement, concrete and stuff. These creatures can now take care of it. Tomorrow, some group of activists come and say, this is wrong and unethical and immoral, so we have to now end this industry of breeding these creatures into existence where they just serve humans, which means that those creatures will eventually go extinct. But that would be a good thing. See, when we look at the farm animals and even the stray animals right now, I always say that we have to look at their quality of life. What's the quality of life of a stray dog? Now, a stray dog in your college, as far as I have seen, seems to be having a great life, which is awesome. Most stray animals have the most horrible life I have seen. Cannot get food, cannot get water, skin disease. They still, due to the natural way of thinking, they still keep breeding and mating among themselves. A new litter is born, suffers, struggles, dies. And not to mention these cows and stuff. Right now, a broiler chicken, by the way, is a genetically modified organism that cannot even stand on its own 2 feet because its body is so heavy. That animal has no benefit from even existing. Do you agree with my point? The very existence of that creature to be born in this world is nothing but pure torture. A dog, a breed like a pug. Did you know a pug has been bred in such a way where the skull is so small and they can barely breathe? Anybody has a pug here? Seen a pug? They struggle to breathe all the time. Why? Because of human greed. We think they look cute, but they're literally struggling on the inside. Which means if no pugs exist on Earth, that's a benefit for them. Just like how this weird human hybrid doesn't exist, it's a benefit for them. In that regard, I 100% support neutering and spaying of all animals, because if we can assure a good quality of life to this animal, and if they want to mate among themselves and they are able to survive, beautiful. No problem with that for me. But why bring an animal into a world where the system exists only to torment them, right? And their quality of life is absolutely atrocious. So in that regard, I wanted to explain to the audience why I do support neutering, spaying, and I hope we can create a world in which these domestic animals like broiler chickens, some of these cows and buffaloes, man, they've been genetically manipulated to such a degree and they've been given so many injections. I have seen a cow whose udder is like so big, like she cannot walk straight, like her legs, like when she moves, the udder sways, right? And her legs are literally, she has to spread her legs apart to walk. Imagine a cow walking like that, her back 2 legs. What's the point of that creature existing? So yes, I do stand by what I said.
Yes, thank you, sir. And one last question. Whenever I talk to my, like you said, don't talk to your friends and family, but whenever I do, I get responses like it's just natural selection. If they can't survive whatever we are doing, they are not meant
That's
to be
true,
on this
actually.
earth.
They are right. But I want them to take that to the logical conclusion. Because if I right now take a cricket bat and smash it on their heads, natural selection. Right. I mean, see, as long as they're willing to be logically consistent with what they believe in, I don't have a problem. But they very much turn into hypocrites when you start treating them the way they treat animals. Nobody in this room wants to be treated the way we treat cows, chickens, pigs, fish, and turkeys. So why are we treating them that way? The people who say natural selection, they cannot be against molestation, right? Because this man is merely spreading his seed, his offspring. He was fit enough to do so. Am I right or wrong? Because see, understand something. Nature is evil. Nature is violent. People have to say there's beauty in nature. If you're alive and no one's hunting you, and if you get food 3 times a day and you have shelter, nature is beautiful. Otherwise, how many of you want to live in the jungle right now with nature? Nobody. So people who say natural selection, as long as they're all right with every single war in human history, as long as they're all right with what Hitler did in World War II, because again it's natural selection, one race is killing another race, what Americans did to blacks during slavery, what the British did to us during slavery, if that's all okay, men torment, see, racism, sexism, all this stuff is natural selection. One group is dominating another. If they say that's wrong, then they have to stop eating meat, dairy, eggs, and honey because they're being logically inconsistent. So next time, try sharing that to them. They'll probably not listen to you. So don't bang your head on the wall and move on and find somebody else to talk to. That will be my answer to you.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you so much.